Welcome. I am the narrator, a gleeman of sorts. This is the story of Beric, Macerim, Adel Island, Jostle and Ferredin. This is the Third Age come again. Last we left our party, they were making short work of a group of Trollocs and Fades, and barely avoiding the death flails of the Murdral. And the party is bolstered by the healing weaves of Jeane. And as this happens, they hear laughter, shrewd and derisive, echo out across the canyon that they are in. An elderly man, decrepit and gnarled beyond discernible age, looks at them from atop a plateaued cliff out of their reach, 100 feet away almost. Ilon weaves mirrors of mist at this point, enlarging himself, and asks him who he is, as he tells them all how happy he is that they enjoyed his pet pretties. He introduces himself as Ishar Morad Chuain. Ilon knows the name from his readings and whispers the name they all know. Aginor. Ferredin launches an arrow at him and hits him, and as Jeane contemplates whether or not to attack him with Sidar, Jeane feels an unseen force attempt to come between her and the true source. It would seem that the Forsaken attempted to shield her from the power. Suddenly, something drops from overhead. A giant, monstrous shadow, like the shade of a death leviathan crossing over our world. And as it swoops low overhead, it lands like a plummeting stone, jarring the ground, as this monstrous flying beast grounds itself for a moment. As the monster leans over, a great, bald, hulking humanoid jumps off its back, three-fingered and grotesque, bellowing at them, and barrels toward them with its club. And with little success. Aginor weaves a silvery line of light that opens into a strange door and leaves, and the flying monstrosity, shrieking in an alien tongue, exits through the skies. The three-fingered giant remains, bristling. It resembles a Trolloc, if the lines between beast and animal had been blurred even less than before, and the thing runs at them with the force of a small rock slide. Jeane embraces Sidar and wraps the creature in flows of air, holding the beast in place, begging the party to run so they can escape. They do not. After all, would it be giraffivores otherwise? This causes some slight contention between the party, as Jeane is unhappy with the celebration of the killing of this creature, and we move on to look for Aginor. As they argue, moving forward, none of them notice the ground changing around them. In the shift of 1 foot to another, from the blink of an eye, the decay and death fades, the corruption is sapped, the malignant growths and the radiated stagnation of the blight-scarred lands is gone. In an instant, replaced by green foliage, bright colors, and beautiful flora not seen in an age. So intent are they that they walk by the green man, Someshta, and don't even notice that they are in his oasis until their horses picket themselves, reaching down to graze on the fine blue grass and delectable sweet buds that have grown up. Jeane immediately runs off, seeing Selenia, who is covered on the ground and hurt. Someshta sports a fresh wound in his chest and a wide scar on his face. It would seem, as the party questions her, as Jeane heals the eyes Sedai, that they notice a group of young men and women around her, looking mostly like the youngsters from the Two Rivers, and a young Aiel with reddish-brown hair. As the party questions Selenia, they find out that there were 2 Forsaken at the Eye of the World. One of them left, once the party arrived, to deal with them, only to return later. This may have saved the lives of Selenia and the others, and there is now a pile of ashes on the ground where one of them stood. One of them, Balthamel, it seems, escaped. Ferredin, who's most interested in the young wetlander with the looks of the threefold land, asks Selenia if the Karakarn is safe. She seems to affirm this and says now is not the time to speak of it. An Ogier and two young men bring up a chest at this point, and Selenia introduces them. Pelamal Dag, a lad the party members remember from their time in Tarvalin. Now confirmed, it seems, to be Mat Reborn. Gaidri Sertranis, burly, ruddy, curly-haired blacksmith with golden eyes and an axe at his belt. Kisora Tagar, wisdom of Emond's Field and self-sworn protector of these youngsters of her village, though she isn't much older by far. Irala Aldine, daughter of the mayor, hopeful initiate of the tower, and staring at Gina with wonder and awe, hair unbraided and shining. And Vanderlyn Alrand, sword at his waist, gray-blue eyes downcast, could pass as Faradin's bloody cousin if you put a shufa on him. And Hart, the Ogier, who seems bent on cataloging the story of the strange alliance growing before us. They ask Selenia about what's going on, and she fills them in, only a little. It would seem that she still does not trust them that much. As she opens the chest, there is an audible gasp from the group as they discover the contents. A strange banner with a rippling, serpentine figure, though it sports clawed feet and hands. An ornate, golden curled horn with an inscription that brings chills to the light-fearing and recalls the heroes of old. Tiamia ven moradin isianda vadin. The grave is no bar to my call. There are also a few other items of note. A curved sword with rolling waves upon its hilt and scabbard, remembered from Adel's dream in Tarvalin. A short spear, ornately carved with yellow lightning bolts, remembered from Faradin's dreams. And a strange, perfectly circular disc, depicting a circle half black and white, separated by a sinuous line. Or rather, it should be. Shattered now. The seal on the Dark One's prison is evidence that Tarman Gaiden is upon them. They make their way back to the keep, and they present themselves to Lord Kenumora, who immediately recognizes it. It would seem that they had a great victory at Tarwin's Gap, though all had seemed lost. Some said that the Creator himself walked in flesh and fought the shadow spawn that overwhelmed them all. Lord Jagad is not sure of that, but Lord Jagad offers them use of the bathhouses, and they accept. Faradin makes a mini sweat tent, refusing to use the baths, claiming that it is a waste of water, and Beric won't join in either, but rather relaxes in the shallows at the end. Macerin excuses himself to start bathing in his room, but will eventually return. However, everyone else hops in together. As Adel, Gina, and Eilon attempt to dodge spear points, all while trying to pull Faradin, who returns at this point, into the water, who is screaming something about not having his water spear. We find out at this point that Aiel have spears with pool noodles on them when they have to wade in water, so they don't drown. And of course, it's only sensible. No toe is gained here. Macerin returns and removes their towel, showing the figure of a woman. Gina is immediately embarrassed and covers herself, who was comfortable before. Adel pops a nosebleed, and Faradin pleads for help from the Shienarn, who immediately reaches down and wrenches him from their grasp, just before the Aiel touches the water. Unwilling to say too much right now, and accepting that Faradin owes a small amount of tow to Macerim, Macerim simply states, I am a soldier, and I really just haven't thought of myself as anything other than my blades for a long time. So I don't really know what I am, other than those two blades. The party seems to be accepting of this information, and they allow Macerim the space to tell the party what they want, when they want. To the party, nothing has changed at all. Macerim Macerim is Macerim, and friends are friends. This is the start of some downtime for the group, and it couldn't have come at a better time. This is the first time I will say as a DM that or a storyteller, or a narrator, or the person that got to sit and watch this group of 6 players who didn't know each other at all 10 sessions ago become closer. This is the first time that the party felt like less than a group of people who were forced together by the pattern, and more of a family. It was needed. It was much needed. It was the pattern weaving around them, snugging their thread just a little tighter. This downtime for the group occurs, and they have about 6 weeks that they spend in the keep. At this point, Ferrodin spends some time training Vand and has a conversation with him eventually, and is given some insight into Vand's predicament. His father is not his father. He may be someone who can do things that he should be killed for in most countries, if not all of them, for being able to do them. And at this point, Ferrodin lets him know that they're related, and that he knew his father, his true father. He offers Vand a familial tie, and he tells him that he will be his spear in the wetlands and beyond. He also implores the lad to take a travel with him to the waste from here, and Vand replies that he cannot just yet, as he has ties and responsibilities here as of yet. The Aiel do not swear oaths of fealty, and Ferrodin does not do that, but he does the closest thing to an Aiel vow. Ailan, at this point, requests some training in the power from Sayoka, as well as the sword, and Sayoka begins to train him in the coming 6 weeks. They spend a great deal of time together outside of the city walls, in the Blight and beyond, and Ailan becomes quite proficient in the power. Jeane and Rhem talk, and Jeane convinces him to stop ignoring the Malkiri. Alrem Mandragoran must accept that though they are scattered amongst the borderlands, they are still Malkiri, and young Vand might need the Golden Crane one day. Rhem seems to have a soft spot for Vanderlyn Elrond and for her, and agrees. He agrees to muster the Malkir, though he is not sure how long this will take. With that, Jeane tells him that she does not believe she is the woman for him, even if she cares for him. He is a king, even if he won't take it, and in need of a woman that is of noble birth and of monogamous bent. Before he can really say much else, they part ways. He seems colder and harder from that. There is a period where Jeane trains with Arala and Kasora and helps teach them what she can. As they all rest and train, they suddenly receive news of a prisoner taken by the soldiers of Faldara. Selenia takes the dungeons to interrogate this city. This dirty, seedy, enigmatic, wall-hopping criminal that they have found within their midst, who seems half mad. No one even knows how he got in the city. A few days later, Gitara Edalorna, Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tarvalin, the Amyrlin seat arrives, with a coterie of Aes Sedai, warders and soldiers. She wears 7 striped stoles. 7 stripes on her stole. She has a keeper with a red stole. It appears that a red Aja Amyrlin rules today. Selenia and Rhem are offered a seat at the dining table when the Lord and Lady Jagad entertain, and eventually Selenia calls the party to speak. She tells the party at this point in a private dining hall that they need to go to Kalduth to help her with her reconnaissance. She has eyes and ears in the city, and she has not heard from them in some time. And there are stories of a powerful army seem to be somewhere within the city, and they seem to be drifting out in waves. These rumors do, in the land of Essox and the city of Calduth. She wants the party to meet with a thief-taker named Aliana Balin and assess the situation within this city-state. As to Sayoka, she says it is up to him if he accompanies them, and quite nonchalantly informs them that he is indeed the adopted son of Corlin Bryn, the captain of the Queen's Guard of Andor and one of the 5 great captains. Selenia asks them all to leave her with Jeane and imparts some important knowledge to her. She may find 3 paths before her that allow her some measure of freedom from the White Tower. In the land of the freed folk, there may be a solution, though it seems that they will not let her leave once she goes there. There are rumors of a group of women in Essox, free from the tower, that channel and avoid capture. The last option is for Ferredin to take her to the waste and be free of the Aes Sedai's chains there. With that, we had to call it a night. I am your storyteller, and this is Giraffivores. Tyshar.